All right, welcome, Ged. We are back Wednesday morning, and you know what that means? Boba
Yeah, it
Fett
means I get up
Chapter
way too
2.
early.
Ah, it's normal for me. Doesn't Hugo get you up early, or is he sleeping in these days?
He's a big lazy sleeper inner, but I must admit Stacy gets up with him, not me. So it's kind of my bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's I'd say I'm getting up early today, but I can't watch Hugo because I got to go watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like
She
I'd
she
love
she
to.
must love that one, right?
Yeah. Like I'd love to be super dog dad right now, but I have Boba Fett to watch. Then I got to shoot. I mean, priorities, right?
Always.
Always.
Okay, so this episode confirmed a lot of different things for us, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I pondered last episode, will the flashback sequences continue as a device throughout the rest of the season? And I think we got our answer. I think it will continue. I
Not
can't
only that,
yeah.
I like the vessel they used for it, that little lizard thing.
Oh well, he's still using the back to tank though, right? The lizard
Mm-hmm.
thing was the dream sequence, which I have no idea what the heck was going on in those dreams. Well, okay, he saw Slave One a few times in those dream sequences, so
Yep.
maybe that's gonna tell him now I gotta go get Slave One. And we know in the Mandalorian timeline he already had Slave One, so
Mm-hmm.
as part of this journey to the present, he's done. He's escaped. He not became a prisoner anymore. He's made his gaffy stick.
Right.
So he's helped the people. He's like they're probably forever indebted to him. And now what's next? So it looks like his next quest is to go fetch his ship.
Yep. Yep. Couple things that I want to point out about this series, and it's obviously part of the formula that they're using. We've seen it in the Mandalorian as well. They do a
Yeah.
really good job of these individual side quests and conquests while still telling an underlying story. A lot of shows have tried to do this, and they've done it decently well. But the Mandalorian, this show starting off, I mean, we always talk about the comparison between the MCU and the Star Wars universe. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big MCU fan, but when I watch shows like Loki and I watch shows like WandaVision and then I watch shows like The Mandalorian and now Boba Fett, I have to side with you. Like we talked about how the future is looking bright for one versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
I like the formula. I like how they're going about talking about this next part of the universe in Star Wars. I find it less confusing than the new MCU stuff. I love how they're making things human and relatable, even to the point where like the Tusken Raiders have their version of a dog, for crying out loud. I mean, like if you told me that we were going to start to see the humanizing and start feeling compassionate for this being, this Tusken Raider that we've only ever known in the Star Wars movies as these thoughtless, mindless, trying to blow speeders trying to blow speeders off a racetrack. Like, I don't know about you, but I saw them really one-dimensionally until now. And it's been amazing kind of having that moment where you're like, wow.
Yeah, they
Things are
definitely
legit.
take a vast galaxy and they focus on small stories. You know what I mean? So to
Mm-hmm.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, no, I agree with everything you're saying, but saying that, I'm almost at my fill of Tusken Raiders. We've had
Yeah.
we've had all the Mando stuff. Now we have all the Book of Boba, and guess what? There's another show coming out that's filmed on Tatooine, and guess
Yeah.
what? They just made a bunch of costumes and sets. Why don't we maybe reuse those?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I admit
yeah,
that the galaxy's pretty big, and we've spent a lot of
a lot of
movies and a lot
time
of
on
shows on
damn
Tatooine. Yeah.
Tusken Raiders on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Unless they want to give us Darth Crate, then that's a whole different story.
Well, that's
But
fair. Yep.
yeah, but so far, I think today was the severing of that as well. He's obviously going to leave or try to get off world next. How do you feel? How do you like the whole like today? Like in the first episode, the flashbacks were kind of a little bit then flipping back and forth. This was like legit half present, and then the last half flashback. Like it's almost like you're watching two shows at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Stace and I were both watching it this morning early, and she's like, "Wait, is he still in the dream? Is he still in the past?" I'm like, "No, no, no, he's walking in the desert. I think he's back now to normal present."
Yeah.
I mean, again, are they gonna milk the cow dry on this? I hope not. But yeah, I'm with you in a sense. It's time to kind of move the story forward.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're talking about past Boba rather than the present storyline, let's just again, you know, I thought just in a general, my tone of this episode was very entertaining. I'm glad we saw the runtime creep up on this one, if you
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah, 100%.
But here's my one thing about this. Like, I loved seeing the Pike Syndicate. Don't get me wrong. Like, we saw him in Solo, we see him in the Clone Wars. I'm not sure if we see him in Rebels or not. But we get the Pikes. They're the ones controlling the train, and they're running spice across the Dune Sea. Like, out of all the places to be spice running, like, are we really running spice across the desert? Was the one thing that seemed, I could see maybe dropping a shipment off at Mos Eisley or something like that. But are we really? Is enough spice being consumed on this world that you're running it across? And then not only that, this train that runs across the desert. If we know how trains logically work, right? I know this is a hover train. There's not necessarily tracks, but trains you would think take the same route, point A to point B. If they're killing the Tuskens and their banthas and stuff like that, why are you congregating next to the train route? Like, just back up 20 feet and you're good. It would never be a problem.
Yeah, you make a valid point. And here's, I guess the nerd in me goes, if somebody needs a run of spice from Mos Eisley out to the middle of nowhere, who is it? Yeah. Who is so important? Who has so much pull? Who has so much money that they can afford to have a Pike train run from Mos Eisley out to the middle of nowhere? Part of me hopes it's nothing. Part of me hopes it was just the idea to set up a quest, set up the ability to have him kind of become a Tusken Raider, to build probably the coolest.
Does the whole samurai thing, right? Like train.
Yeah,
gaffy stick.
Oh, and it's so sexy.
Yeah, and it's like training them to use the speeders. Instead of training them how to fight, we're going to train you how to use technology. Like, all those classic storytelling tropes are all there. And I very much think it's a plot device. Yeah, but the Pikes they're a big deal, and and Boba wants to be a crime lord, and the Pike Syndicate is part of that.
100%.
So I can't help feel there's a connection there, and maybe that's the way they figured to bring him in, to have some sort of interaction with Boba.
Well, at the end you see the Hutt twins. Yeah. What are the odds that the two are related? I mean, I didn't even know Hutt twins were even close to On World. So is there a relationship between the spice running and maybe. I mean, obviously there's going to be some confrontation.
And again, these are different timelines, right? So
yeah, fair. Yeah. Very much so. Never mind. Yeah.
And then the only other thing that I've noticed now they're trying to cause attention to, in the first episode, when those when those gangsters that he beat up this episode were in that building, they drew that symbol on the wall.
Yeah.
When he steals the speeder bike, the one when he gets on one, it does like this slow zoom in of the symbol on the front. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's a new symbol for something, but they're really trying to I'll show you what I'm talking about. They're really trying to, I feel, bring your eye to this symbol. There they are there. 1 second. All right, watch this. Watch the one he gets on. See?
Yep.
It clearly shows it. And then watch when he drives by here. There it is.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to have any importance whatsoever, or like, is it going to be a reveal of like, oh, it's Crimson Dawn's new symbol or something like that. But he's messing with, for example, these raiders who, it could just be nothing, or maybe it's an Easter egg of what's to come, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a good pickup on that symbol. Yeah, really good.
Any other thoughts for
the mayor? What are your thoughts on the mayor?
Well, the desert part.
Okay,
any other thing, the flashbacks, nothing?
Nope.
All right. So the mayor, I think everyone kind of figured it was going to be the Ithorian was going to be the mayor.
Yep.
And he quickly, I don't know. It's weird. Like the Nightwind says, I think he was called a Nightwind, right? The
Yep.
assassin.
Yep. Nightwing Assassin.
Quickly when he gets threatened with the non-Rancor, he says it was the mayor.
The Rancor.
And the mayor says, "Well, it's not me. Like, go check out the bar."
Mm-hmm.
And then it's obvious that the Hutt twins are on Mos Espa.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my again. It's cool seeing Hutts. Like I like the nostalgia you'll see and
Yep.
everything. But
Yep.
again, here's my little bit of my gripe. And I had this issue with the first go around too. Was this is I believe 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So
Yep.
Jabba's been gone for 5 years, and now the Hutt twins are just coming around to lay claim to his throne.
Yep.
Like, did Bib just like that's
did Bib Fortuna pay him off? Like, did they instantly send tribute? What did that look like?
Yeah, did Bib immediately just copy what Jabba did, and they just consider Bib Jabba, and no one wants to talk about Bib, so they just go back to always talking about Jabba?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's Jabba's been gone for 5 years, and they always just they're in this timeline, they're acting as if he just perished. He just got asphyxiated from Leia.
Yeah.
Yesterday, so to speak. And that's it's just odd. Like, and like, I know like maybe the casual fan that doesn't bother because they might not even realize what the timelines are and how they're shifting, but it's just odd.
Question on that. Did we know, and you'll have to help me out on this one. Did we know that Boba Fett killed Bib Fortuna to this point? Because he makes a comment that he basically laid waste to Bib Fortuna, and now he sits on his throne. Did we know that? Was it mentioned already?
Okay. No, on that. Remember that sneak peek on the Mando finale? He walks in there and shoots Bib and throws him off the throne and sits on it.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess I've been burying the biggest reveal and the coolest part of the episode here. So why don't we just play it, because it's not very long. What were your thoughts? And I know you don't know who this is, so what were your thoughts?
What are your thoughts on this thing you don't know who it is?
What he's trying to get here. All right, here we go. Oh, we missed the reveal.
You're not referring to evil Chewie?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring. Oh, yeah, here we go.
With the fact he has an evil Wookiee?
Yeah.
Now, do you know the name of evil Wookiee?
Care what your
yes,
says.
I do.
This is Mos Espa, and I am Daimyo here.
Oh.
Come on, let's get the reveal. Here we go.
Evil Chewie. And he calls him a gladiator.
Which is comic accurate.
You can bring as many gladiators as you wish. These are not the deathbeds of Dur, and I am not a sleeping trend.
All right, so what do you think of that guy?
Obviously, I mean, anytime you put a Wookiee on the screen, any Star Wars fan is going to go a little bit wacky. Now, I don't know who that is, so why don't you shine a light on the subject here?
Yeah, so that's Black Chrysanthemum. I'm not a comic reader. I know him from a video game I used to play, Star Wars Force Collection. Shout out to anyone who's played that. He came up as he was a new playable card in the game. I'm like, what the heck's a Black Chrysanthemum? So he is a Wookiee bounty hunter. Again, I'm not by no means an expert, but he's probably made his fame in the Dr. Aphra comics. He's kind of like a partner, sidekick for her. He does work for Darth Vader, as other bounty hunters will. And I believe, I don't know if it's on the Hutt homeworld, but there is a tie-in with gladiators and fighting and stuff like that, which he's done.
Interesting.
So he's obviously been hired by the Hutts. He's used to work for Jabba. Like, again, he's obviously a gun for hire.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at him one versus Boba, Boba might be in a little bit of trouble here,
I would think so.
considering how renowned Wookiee strength is.
Yep. Yes. I mean, where does this go?
Yeah.
Do you see a one-on-one?
Well,
I mean, they're going to have to sell this one pretty hard if Boba Fett comes out on top.
Yeah, if he's not going to lay down the throne or lay down Jabba's territory, right?
Mhm.
But again, is this opening the door? You know, a lot of people are expecting cameos. You know,
Oh, yeah.
by seeing him get hired, is Boba going to be like, "Oh snap, the Hutts are after me. Who can I hire?"
I know. Are you going
You
Cad
know?
Bane here again?
I know. Well, I
you have
feel
such a Cad Bane hard on. It's unreal.
I could be okay. I could see Boba hiring Bosk, right? Like Bosk was more his homeboy,
Yeah.
you know, Dengar, like those type of bounty hunters.
Yeah.
I could see Cad Bane more of a on the Black Chrysanthemum side, the Hutt side, because Cad Bane didn't really move with young Boba in the Clone Wars, right?
True.
Bane was already established and like they were off doing his own thing.
Yep.
And Bane at that point was probably the more skilled than any of them. And then also in the unfinished, unreleased Clone Wars episodes, Cad Bane and Boba have that standoff where Cad Bane puts the dent in his helmet that never got released, right? But I believe Boba kills him in that. So I still like that's my hope is they're going to bring back that scene, whether it plays out the same way. But I think Dave Filoni must have a hard on behind the scenes of I wanted to do this with these bounty hunters and never got a chance to finish it. Hey, John, why don't we do this in live action?
Is there a dent in his helmet yet? Or is it pristine?
Well, there is.
Okay.
So they won't be able to necessarily potentially do that.
Got it.
But you know, they could do something similar.
Okay.
Some sort of like Western, you know, standoff, right?
Yeah.
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 So okay.
Don't get me wrong. I would like to see you have your Cad Bane moment. So
yeah, I think it's coming. But again, I think, you know, they're all coming. We're getting all the bounty hunters. I got a feeling.
Yep.
You know, you don't promise this show to be epic and blow everyone's minds, and you just have them lay waste to low-level thugs and you know, the Pike Syndicate maybe. Like that's not you know, that's Robert Rodriguez upselling way too far then if that's all we get.
No, that's fair. Okay, so let's rate it.
Yeah. So for me personally, not as high as the first. Again, extremely entertaining, but there's just some things that just make me go, huh? A little bit, you know, as I explained earlier. I do like the longer runtime, although I would maybe prefer the longer runtime tell like a better portion of the story, so to speak.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like again, let's see what the other episodes give us. But if you're going to dedicate a longer runtime, you know, I'd rather you waste the resources on an all-time great episode versus, you know, one that's continuing the setup, so to speak.
Yep.
So for me, I'm going to go 7.8 on this one. That's what I give her.
Yeah, I was going to go one lower than you. I was going to go 7.7, only because unless there's some tie in there with the spices, a random train going across Mos Eisley makes no sense to me at all. Yeah. They could have dropped it anywhere. Mind you, again, we're being super, super critical. I loved the episode. I loved the humanizing of the Tusken Raiders. It's just, it wasn't for 52 minutes. I was almost expecting a little bit more bang, but I still really enjoyed it. Yep.
When we saw that huge runtime, right? It was almost reminiscent of the premiere of season 2 of Mando when we got the epic Krayt Dragon fight.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, they're going to do something
Here we
awesome.
go.
And when that train first appeared, I think it even made a Krayt Dragon sound. I was like, oh my God, there's another Krayt Dragon? Because this is and then you know, it was a train.
Yeah.
Train heist.
All right. So another week
water
from now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you next Wednesday, buddy.
Be good.
Peace out.